So I'm Jenny Kendler. I'm an artist and activist. I'm here as a visiting artist at the College of DuPage. I was brought in by Mara Baker to do a 3-day program here that centers specifically around the college's really extraordinary prairie restoration project. We've done a whole bunch of really fun activities, starting with an iteration of my long-term project, Milkweed Dispersal balloons, which is an effort to spread the endangered plant, milkweed, that's really tenacious and can grow all over the place. So we were sending this home with students inside of these clear balloons and asking them to pop it anywhere as they're driving past an office park or in their home backyard. And that's going to help preserve the monarch butterfly, which these days its population has dropped by 90%. We followed that up with a really fun vegan barbecue activity. Then we went out to a portion of the prairie where Remick Ensweiler, who's the prairie manager here, did a prairie burn to show us how he's burning off brush and keeping the prairie healthy. And then we created what you're seeing here in my hand, which is a biochar book. These are books on climate change. They're defunct books that have been deaccessioned from libraries or found at thrift stores, ones that have never been read. It's all of these calls to action from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that people weren't listening to, weren't paying attention to. And so I wanted to take these and turn them into something that could actually be functional, that could help climate change. And that's what we're going to do on this final day of the program. I have students out here behind me who are going to help me to install this permanent artwork that will be on the campus, hopefully for thousands of years to come, even if the landscape were to change around it. And we're going to bury an underground library of these books. Because these have gone through the biochar process, they're actually an extremely stable form of almost totally pure carbon. On the second day of programming, I was brought in to do an artist talk, which was a really fun way to kind of contextualize the project that we're creating here on campus for the students within my larger body of work. And then Remick and I brought the students out to see the actual prairies and try to teach people how to retune their vision to not just see a field of weeds or field of grass, but to really look at the prairie and to understand that this is the special ecosystem of our area. And many of you have heard, of course, our state slogan is the Prairie State. But today we have less than 0.01% prairie remaining, so this incredibly tiny proportion, meaning that every little piece, including what we have here at the College of DuPage, is incredibly precious. What I would really like the students to take away from this is to both start to rediscover these lost histories in the Midwest. So the very first thing I wanted to do was remind them how absolutely extraordinary the prairie that you're seeing behind me is, that this is really a gem. This is a globally endangered ecosystem. So I wanted them to look more carefully at what's right under their noses. And then I wanted them to take this lost history and think about how we can build on that going forward into the future. Climate change is probably the most pressing challenge that's facing our entire generation. And these students, it's going to become their challenge because unfortunately our generation is not doing so great a job. I'm hoping next time a question about climate change comes their way that they're going to feel more involved and they're going to feel more willing to act. They're going to know that this is their fight.